y'all, welcome back. So, she's trying to take a nap, but I wanted to review my hospital bag video because I didn't use half of that stuff. Now, with the exception that I only stayed in the hospital, like, I had her Friday morning and we left Saturday afternoon, so one whole day. I wrote down a list of everything that I used for myself, for her, Nathan, and then all the things that I packed that I did not use. And I may leave some things out on accident, but I just watched that video back again, and I'm telling you, I didn't use half of that. I way overpacked. But it's better to be safe than sorry, because what if we would have had a C-section or something went wrong and we needed to stay longer? So it's always good to overpack, essentially, really. But I just wanted to tell you all the things that I used, things I didn't use. So let's get into it. I've got my notes right here. She keeps waking up and falling back asleep. But I used all 3 outfits for her. So I brought 3 outfits. The pink flower onesie is what she came home in. It had a matching hat and socks, but the socks were way too big. Honestly, the whole outfit was big. She was just so tiny. But that was a newborn size. And then the green onesie she wore in the hospital, and the little dress that I bought her, that was the first outfit she put on. And the reason we went through 2 of them, she didn't have reflux or anything at the time. I was breastfeeding, and I only had colostrum, so there wasn't really a lot coming out, but she was still getting what she needed or whatever. But the reason being is I got her all swaddled up, took newborn pictures of her, and then I got her dressed and that little dress and took pictures of her, and then a nurse would come in and have to do something. And we'd have to get her completely stripped down to her diaper, and then the nurse would have to run tests on her or whatever. Well, then I'd just leave her undressed. Well, then the next, I think it was like actually Friday night, but technically Saturday morning, it was like 1 a.m. She got her first bath, and so I wanted to go ahead and put another outfit on her. So I used the green onesie, which was also newborn. Everything I brought was newborn, but they were different sizes, like that pink onesie that she came home in, that was newborn, but it was like a whole 2 sizes bigger than the other newborn stuff that I brought. So I did make sure I had a variety of, sizes. I know they said newborn, but you measured it, like, not measured, but could hold the outfits up to each other and tell they were totally different. But anyways, people just kept coming in and out, wanting to check her out, run tests on her, do whatever. And so she had to keep getting undressed. So we went through both of those outfits. And then once she wore them, I really didn't want to put them back on her. I know that sounds crazy. They weren't dirty, but I don't know. That's just the new mom, I guess, whatever. But I ended up putting that pink onesie on her. She pretty much stayed naked all day Saturday. And then I put that pink onesie on her to go home. I didn't bring mittens, I don't think. But the outfits that I had, like the pink onesie, had mittens built into it. I may have brought mittens, but I can't quite remember. I don't know if y'all heard that. My dog's dreaming. Anyways, so I used all 3 outfits. Bows, I did use the tiny little tan bow. The bow that came with her swaddle that I took newborn pictures in. If y'all go back on the birth vlogs, that's what she's wearing on that cover photo. But there was some bows, like a pink lacy bow, I think, and stuff that I brought that did not fit her, and they still don't fit her. Her head's just really small. Well, she's just really tiny. She was only 6 pounds. What else did I use? This might be kind of all over the place. So Saturday we went home. I had her on Friday morning. I did not take a shower at the hospital because it had only been like 12 hours. So when we got home, we were home for like an hour or two, and then I went ahead and got a good shower, and or sometime Saturday night, evening, nighttime, whatever, I got a shower at home. So all those toiletries I packed, did not use them. As soon as we got home, I may have brushed my teeth at the hospital, but to be completely honest with you, I never went to sleep. So I really don't remember if I brushed my teeth or not. I know that sounds gross. But for sure, Saturday night before I went to bed, I'm sure I brushed my teeth. But I'm just saying that as in, like, there was so much going on and so much going on in my body that that was not something that was on my mind, which every morning I wake up, I brush my teeth, and I try to remember at nighttime to brush my teeth, like when I get out of the shower too. So, with that being said, like, I have a really good, hygiene, but there was just so much going on, so much happening, and so much weird things happening to my body that I really, I don't know, can't really remember everything, and it was only 4 months ago. So, I used the nightgown that I packed that I told you I bought at Walmart. It was like $10, like 9 something. I did use that. I used one pair of my socks, the pair that had the grip on the bottom, so I wouldn't slip inside on the hospital floor. My dog just leaned against the door. I thought somebody was walking inside. Anyways, so I did use a pair of socks, but not for long. My hospital was relatively humid. Like, it wasn't ice cold. I thought hospitals always stayed like you were kind of shivering, kind of chilly. This hospital, I don't know if it's just because they tried to keep it a certain temperature for babies or what it was, like just this wing of the hospital, but it was warm, like super, super warm. You almost didn't need a blanket. You had to have been like super still, not moving or sleeping to get to want a blanket. Like, I don't know how to explain that. You were almost kind of sticky. It was kind of warm in there. I don't know. Anyways, but I did use those because I was getting back up. I was getting up, going to the bathroom or whatever, back and forth. The red dress that I brought, it was like a long maxi dress, and it had straps like this I'm wearing. I did wear that. I wore that one home with the sports bra. And I want to say, you know what? I can't quite remember if I wore the always depends like diapers I showed y'all at the hospital, but I know 100% when I got home, I like stopped wearing the pads that I got. Let's see, I wore the pads for like a day or two after we got here home, because I was using those little coolant pads that they gave me in there, and so I was using those with the mesh panties. But then when I switched over to the Depends, I didn't go back to the pads at all. They were so easy, so comfortable. It felt like you were wearing like silky panties. Like, it was really nice, very comfortable, and very easy to wear at nighttime. Like, you didn't have to worry about getting anything on your bed or anything like that. So I did use those, just not necessarily in the hospital. The gum that I brought, I think Nathan used it. I don't recall. I really don't think I used the gum. I may have. If I didn't brush my teeth, I'm sure I used gum, but I can't quite remember. The earphones, Nathan used them while I was in labor at the very beginning. I say beginning, right before I had her. He used them when he was on his phone for a little bit, and then after I had her, all day Friday, he used them. Deodorant, I know for a fact to use that because I'm weird about that. I need my deodorant. I always wear my deodorant. I get out the shower and put deodorant on. That's just how I am. So I know I use that. Sports bras, I didn't have any bra on. I just wore that while I was in the hospital. I just wore the nightgown because it was like a triangle cut at the top. It was a really low V. It was easy for me to pull off to breastfeed, like super easy. So, and a bra would have gotten in the way. and I was still learning. I still had the lactation consultant coming in constantly and trying to help me. She wasn't a very good latcher, so I did not wear sports bras. I just wore one when I went home. Let's see. I used the cardigan that I showed y'all. I didn't use it the whole time. Like I said, it was kind of humid and muggy in there. So on our way home, just because I had, straps on or whatever, I went ahead and put that cardigan on to get in the car. I'm trying to think. Snacks, I know Nathan ate some of the snacks I brought, but not all of them. So that did come in handy. But he mostly went down to the cafeteria and got food and stuff. Typically, your stay, I want to make this comment. Typically, your stay at the hospital when you have a natural vaginal birth and everything's healthy, baby's healthy, you're healthy, you normally stay, like I would have stayed Friday, Saturday, and went home Sunday, but we didn't, and we got to go home kind of early, so that's not typical. It's not very typical or normal at all. Normally, I would have had to stay one more night. Nathan pretty much, because we were only there for one night, he pretty much stayed in the clothes that he wore. He pretty much stayed in them. He might have changed once, but I'm pretty sure he just kind of stayed in whatever, and then we went home. We both took showers and got dressed or whatever. Things I didn't use, all those other pairs of socks I brought, didn't need them. I brought a bunch of socks for Nathan. He didn't need them. Pacifier. This was actually the pacifier that I packed. Did not need it in the hospital. Newborns just sleep. I mean, I don't know, not all of them, I'm sure, but she didn't cry. She just slept and snuggled and slept. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, I didn't even know she was hungry because she wouldn't cry. It was just the nurse would come in and be like, have you tried feeding her? I'm like, no. Well, you need to. So it was things like that. It was more like we were on a time schedule. She, at the beginning, did not cry at all. Hardly anyways, ever. The only time she, screamed was if you took her clothes off, because she hated being, out in the open cold. I don't know. Let's see, chapstick. I did not use it. I've been told after you give birth, you're dry, you're sweaty, you're this and that. No, I was none of those things. I forgot to even own chapstick. I didn't use it at all. Nipple cream, didn't need that because she wasn't a very good latcher, so I didn't need that in the hospital anyways. My flip-flops, I brought shower flip-flops. Didn't need that because I didn't take a shower at the hospital. Just took one when we got home. The nursing bra I brought, didn't need that at the hospital. The slippers, didn't need that because I just used those socks. And all the extra clothes that I brought and Nathan's extra clothes were totally not needed. But that's just my personal experience. Like I said, if something would have went wrong or just anything, anything could have happened. I could have had a C-section. We could have been there for 2 or 3 days. Or, I don't know, anything. She could have went to the NICU and I could have went with her and stayed over there. You just never know what's going to happen. And like I said, it's better to be over-prepared, which I was way over-prepared, than to not have what you need. And the reason I over-prepared and packed, I want to say this. I had her in March of 2021, which it's July now, so 4 months ago. This is still COVID time, and this hospital is Baptist Memorial right here in South Haven. They have strict rules due to COVID, so Nathan was not allowed. Once he came in and I went into the labor and delivery room and they let him come back there, he had to get the bags before he came in, and then he was not supposed to leave and come back. He couldn't leave and get food and come back. He couldn't leave and run to the house. We live 5, maybe max if it's really bad traffic, 7 minutes away from the hospital. And we even have a dog. That was part of the reason why we asked to go home early or whatever. We have a dog and we were scared she wasn't getting fed or anything like that. So And we don't, we're away from family, so it's not like we can just call somebody to come let her out to pee or whatever. So, anyways, with all that being said, we have, COVID and all this. Well, me knowing that, my doctor told me, once y'all come in, you can't leave. Like, you're not allowed to leave and come back. Once he leaves, he won't be allowed back in, which I think is so retarded, but whatever. That's just goofy. It's so goofy due to the fact that you could order Uber Eats and they could go inside the ER and you can meet them, touch the same bag, and come back up to the room with the newborn baby. Like, I don't get what they were trying to do with that, but that didn't make any sense. He wouldn't even have had contact with anybody. He would have gotten in his truck, touched the same stuff he touched while we were on our way to the hospital, come in here. They didn't even test him for COVID. They didn't even take his temperature. They took my temperature, obviously, and they tested me for COVID while I was still in the triage room. So, I don't know. It's just goofy to me. If you're going to do it, but don't halfway do it. I don't know. Somebody who is in the medical field may come on here and way correct me, and that's fine, but that's just my personal outlook on it. I thought that was a little goofy, but it is what it is. But anyways, me knowing that, I just overpacked. I packed all his stuff. And then, like I said, if something would have went wrong, we would have had to stay multiple days. And he can't leave and come back and get close. So I really made sure I overpacked. But let's see my notes. That's pretty much everything that I had like comments on. I think I told you I was going to bring a bottle. I can't quite remember if I had that on there, but I didn't pack that bottle, and I'm glad I didn't because I did not need it. That was not needed. She was breastfeeding, and yeah, we had a really hard time with that, which I will be making a breastfeeding video about everything. But even though we had a hard time, we were only there for one day, not even long enough to do anything. So a lot of things that I packed were so unnecessary and so not needed. I did not pack pillows or bring blankets or anything of that sort. Yes, I did. Don't let me lie to you. Okay, I put a towel in Nathan's truck in case my water broke, because he's got leather seats and a nice truck and I didn't want to ruin it. So I put a towel down in the front seat of his truck, and that was there for like 2 or 3 weeks before I went into labor, before we went to the hospital, which, by the way, my water never broke. The doctor had to break it. But anywho, I did pack that. I brought that or whatever, and I brought the bag that I showed y'all with all the toiletries. Toiletries were not needed at all. Maybe deodorant, toothbrush, and toothpaste. I would pack that if I was y'all. But other than that, nothing else was needed. I didn't fix my hair. I didn't do none of that junk. I don't even think I put my hair up in a ponytail or a clip, and I brought all of that. What else? The blanket. I didn't bring any pillows because I kind of got grossed out thinking, like, I didn't know what to expect going into the afterbirth and stuff, and I didn't want the pillow getting nasty because a lot of people, I don't know. I just didn't want my pillows getting mixed up with their pillows and all that kind of stuff. So, we didn't bring that, but we did bring a blue blanket, which was Nathan's blanket that his grandma made him. We did bring that. I brought that for Nathan, and he actually ended up using it he slept on the couch. And so he did use that blanket. Me, I didn't. I just used whatever was on the hospital bed. So, I think that was pretty much it, though. So really you could downsize a lot more than what I brought. You could totally get rid of half of what I brought. It was not needed and unnecessary. Now, I did bring my camera, and I did use my camera. Some people say, just use your phone because your phone's just as good, blah, blah, blah. I brought my camera, my good, expensive camera. That's what we bought it for. And so I brought that and totally used it. And so that was, I'm happy I brought that. But that's pretty much it to review my hospital bag. It's been 4 months, so I don't like have my bag to bring and show you what I used or didn't use to show you all the products. So it's really just more of a sit down chat just to review it. But that's pretty much everything. So I hope we all found this kind of useful and helpful. But I'm gonna go set her down somewhere, and I will talk to you all later.